Okay, this is 37th Street Radio and TV, and of course, we are out here hooking you up with the best of the best when it comes to guests. And today, we also have an important guest as usual. Guest, please just introduce yourself.
Yeah, Tymilyfe, Tymilyfe, Kenyan artist based in London, UK.
Yeah, so I contacted you because you are an artist and I just wanted you to share your views on certain things. So we would like to know when your interest in music started.
Well, my interest in music was kind of forced upon me, really. It started when I was younger. I was brought up in a church environment. My father is a priest in a church called Legio Maria. And so I was made to join the choir when I was very, very, very young. So I would say it was forced, but then later on, I think 2006, 7, that's when I was like, yeah, maybe I could do this thing. So I would say for me, it started around 2007 there. But before that, it was mainly because someone else wanted me to do it, not because I wanted to do it. Yeah.
And then you said you started in 2006 and you're still doing music even till date. I want to know, like, what are some of the things that you can pinpoint that are very different in music from when you started and right now as you're also continuing to do music?
Well, it's very, very different. First of all, when I started, it wasn't professional. It was just, people gassed me up, or like, you could sing, and I was like, maybe I could, maybe, recorded my first, before that, I used to do just like we used to sing around the hood. Boys would hang around, and girls as well, and we would do poetry, we would sing, things, rap, things like that. And then I recorded my first project in 2008. And I thought it was the best project anyone has ever recorded. It was sick in my head, and the producer was gassing me up. I was like, yo, this is going straight to radio. I'm making it. Yeah. And then reality hit. And when I listened back to that track, it's like one of those that I'm like, I can't even believe I let people listen to this. Like, what is this? So yeah, recorded it. Recorded a few songs after, and it was written by an ex of mine at that time. So I think that added to this is good. But then I realized it was not good at all. So I decided to just quit, because the idea was that I would record something, I would send it to radio, and it would be played, and then I would shoot a video, go on TV, and that's it. I'm big now, no one can tell me anything. And then reality hit. It was like, yeah, anyone who listened to it, who knew anything about music, was like, yeah, you still have a long way to go. So that kind of demoralized me, and I didn't record anything between 2008 and 2017. So yeah, that was a big difference. And even when I recorded, we did the first version of Lipstick, which my producer actually voiced, I was like, because I wrote the song, I co-wrote it with him, but then I was too scared to voice it, kind of. And it was like, I'm going to voice it, and then let's just see what it sounds like. And I was like, sounds interesting. And then I voiced it 2018. And then here we are.
What like in 2006, the way you said you have started a long time ago. Yeah. Nowadays we have the internet, we have all these Spotify, AudioMac, Boomplay, we have all these platforms. So during those days, these platforms were not there. So, and you wanted guys to know about you. So what were the like avenues that an artist could make himself popular during that time?
Well, during those days, it was only radio and TV. And so you had to either know someone. You either had to be really good, extremely good, that you can't be ignored. And even then, you still needed to get yourself out there. You needed to know someone who knew someone, because just dropping your CDs at a radio station wasn't good, wasn't enough. You had to still talk to someone. You still, unfortunately, you had to bribe some people for anyone to listen to, other than your family and friend and the people you hung out with in the studio, of course. The difference between back then and even selling music back then, you had to sell the physical copies. You had to go to the fans, or the fans would have to find you, or you'd have to, pay to have your music on the shelves and things like that in music stores. The difference between then and now is now you can literally do a song, put it on social media, hype it up as much as you can, and get your friends to hype it up. And just by that, you're going to get numbers. You're going to get people to see you. And if you're lucky enough and it goes viral, then that's it. Back then, going viral meant someone had to be extremely good, or someone had to pay a lot of money, or someone had to be lucky enough to know the right people. Now you sometimes you still do need to know the right people, but now you can just blow up on the internet, and then the right people will find you, will come and find you, which is different from back in the day. Yeah.
You've talked about your producer, and I would also like to know what's the criteria of you choosing a producer? Maybe you have a concept and now you're trying to identify, I'm going to use this producer because of this. So what's your criteria?
Well, I feel like I've been lucky enough to be chosen by like the producers that I've worked with, because the person who got me back into music is one big Kenyan reggae artist, internationally known, called Shamir. And he's produced most of my songs, and he's one of the people who are like, bro, you can sing, why mbona unalalia talanta, let's get up, let's do this. And I kind of modeled my music around what he suggested, around what we were working on at that time. And I loved it so much. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I think the fact that I'm also lucky enough to be in a position where I don't have to force things. Yes, I am doing music, but it's not the breadwinner for me right now, even though it's given me a lot. It's not the breadwinner. I'm not depending on it. So I'm not in a position where I need to panic, like, let's run to this big producer, let's do this if I don't do a project with this producer. So even the producers that I've worked with in the UK are people that I've met, they've listened to my sound, and they've been like, I think I can do something like that. We've sat down, we've worked on something, and I've been like, yeah, this works. So my criteria is basically my sound first. Can you do what I want you to do, instead of me doing what the studio wants to do, or what the producer wants to do? When a producer sends me a beat, they know, the ones that send me beats, they know that even if I send Tymilyfe this, there's no guarantee that he's going to voice it. So my choice, my criteria for choosing my producer is he someone who can work with me, not the other way around.
I've also noticed that you haven't done as much collaboration. So is this a deliberate move, or it's something that has just happened?
Well, collabos can either build you or break you as an artist, especially when you're not globally known. If you're not big, then collabos, for me, the reason why I haven't done many collabos is because I wanted to prove myself first. I wanted people to know, to accept me, to understand my style. I wanted to build my own fan base first. Because if you get in the industry, for example, and say I was like, oh, Lipstick is a really good song, and then I approach a big artist, and then we do Lipstick, and Lipstick blows up, Lipstick would always be remembered for the big artists, because they were there first, because they are the person that these people can associate with more. So I wanted to be in a place where I have built my foundation, I have my fan base, I have yeah, people understand my style, because my style is not for everyone, either way. So that if I bring someone else in, people be like, oh, Tymilyfe did a song with so and so. I don't want it to be the other way around. That, oh, so and so did a song with Tymilyfe, even when the song is mine. Yeah. And
And
actually, I can give you an example of that. A good example of that is with Luodola, who's a friend as well. When he did Bankotuch with Octo, not many people understood that Bankotuch was a remix. Not many people understood that Bankotuch had already been done and was a big song in Kisumu. When someone listens to Bankotuch, it's, oh, Octo's song with that guy Vicmas, instead of Vicmas did a song with Octo. And I didn't want to put myself in a position like that. The song is Vicmas's, but Octo essentially owns it because the fans decided Octo is the bigger name, so therefore the song is his.
you have brought up a very important point, the collab with Octo and Vicmas. You know, that song was a very huge success because, according to me, I think the sound was very indigenous. So do you think Kenyan artists should do this more oftenly?
More do unique things.
Yeah, like just working on indigenous music. You see, like Vicmas was able to sing in Luo, and it really connected well with the fans. So do you think we should do this more oftenly? Because we are even seeing in Afrobeat, sometimes they use their languages, but us, we just understand the vibe.
I mean, with music is a universal language. Most of the songs that I grew up listening to are songs that I could not even understand what they were saying. You know, when we were listening to the Lingalas, the Kina Pepe Kale, Kina Kofi, we did not understand what they were saying. I remember when Gasolina blew up, everybody was singing Gasolina, and then later on I found out he's singing about fuel. I was like, really? I thought you were singing about a girl called Gasolina, you know? Music transcends languages, you know, borders, barriers, and things like that. So the problem that, and this is a personal opinion, the problem that I think we have as Kenyan artists is we are easily swayed, especially the Kenyan music industry. We are easily swayed with what is popular at that time. We used to have our own sound, you know, when we had Genge, when we had Kapuka. It wasn't original, but if someone listened to it, they would be like, oh, that must be a Kenyan artist. That is a Kenyan sound. The same way right now, if someone listens to Afrobeat, one melody, and you're like, oh, that guy must be Nigerian. Or if you listen to, you know, house, Afro house, you'll be like, oh, that's, or Amapiano, you'll be like, that is South African. And we've not had in a very long time people who are willing to build our own style. You know, we go with the flow. If bongo is popular, every single Kenyan artist wants to do bongo. If Afrobeat is popular, the same way. If Amapiano is the same way. Whereas the people that we are copying are people who are working on their own sounds, a sound that you can associate their country with, their nationality with. There's no one, even in the UK right now, even in London, there's no one out here who thinks Afrobeat originated from anywhere other than Nigeria. There's no one who thinks Amapiano originated anywhere other than South Africa. So yes, we do, as Kenyan artists, we do need to work on our own sound. We do need to work on that, and that is why Gengeton, when Gengeton blew up, everybody embraced Gengeton, even though there were a few murmurs about, you know, the language and people not understanding and things like that. It blew up, and Kenyans mostly, you know, accepted it and appreciated it, because this was something that was ours, our own. If you went to Tanzania and you were playing Gengeton, they'd be like, yep, that is a Kenyan sound, even though, yes, it's not original, but the way it's done and the way it's marketed makes it Kenyan. So yeah, I believe the answer is, I believe we need to do more Kenyan. We are a very, very diverse country, yet the music that we are making is so westernized that if you try to come up with something that is not that, then you're either not accepted or the radio is not going to play you unless you blow up somewhere. And that's where the internet comes in. You blow up on the internet and then they're like, oh, well, he's big now, or she's big now. Maybe we need to embrace them now. So yeah.
You've done a couple of shows in the UK. So I just want to know, like, how's the reception? Are they very much receptive to our sound, our music? How is it?
Well, the Kenyan sound is big in London. We have a huge, in the UK, we have a huge Kenyan East African community here, actually. And the Kenyan sound is appreciated here. When I did the last big show that I did before I decided to go on a mini hiatus was when I performed with Chameleon, and you could tell there were Kenyan, Ugandan, and Tanzanian artists in the house, and you could tell the reception was the same, whoever was on the stage. You know, the reception that I've received has been brilliant. It's been really good. Lipstick became bigger than I ever thought Lipstick would be, and that propelled every other song that I've done since then. So yeah, in terms of reception, in terms of shows, I'm getting shows, I'm getting invited to shows, I'm getting paid for shows, and the reception is good. So yeah.
What do you think we should change as Kenyan artists so that we can compete globally? Not even Kenyan artists, maybe the whole industry in terms of maybe DJs, promoters, everybody. What do you think we can change so that we are able to compete globally with other artists?
Well, I think, first of all, we need to build an infrastructure back at home that supports the art industry, that encourages the art industry, that makes people want to work harder. Because at the moment, if you have some kidogo money, you can record a really crap project, take it to radio, throw money at it, and it will be played. And then someone who's outside of that bubble listens to it, and they're like, "Oh, is this what Kenyan sound is like? Is this the Kenyan, song?" And then that affects your name out there, or affects the name of the good, really brilliant Kenyan artists that we have. So first of all, we need to work on the infrastructure back home, projects back home, with the government, with the MCSK, Copyright Society, to help build a trusted environment for artists. And then artists will push themselves more. They will want to be out there more. Other than that, we also need to appreciate our artists more. From my experience, Kenyan artists get appreciated after someone else has appreciated them in most cases. For example, someone like Nikita Kering. Nikita is a brilliant artist. She had been doing music for a while, and she had been doing really brilliant music. No one was talking about her. And then after she wins an award, an international award, then, everybody is like, our own. So I feel like we need to support our artists and appreciate them before someone else does. And that is why I feel like that is where countries like Nigeria, countries like South Africa, even countries like Uganda and Tanzania are way ahead of us, because a Tanzanian will support a Tanzanian artist like it's nobody's business. A Ugandan will support a Ugandan artist like it's nobody's business. The reason Afrobeat is the sound that even the Western world is trying to copy right now, the reason why even the Drakes are trying to work with the WizKids and things like that, is because Nigerians throw themselves behind their artists. They will support you regardless. As long as you're good, as long as they feel your vibe, they will support you. And then when everybody else comes to support, they're like, yep, we were here first. Whereas I feel like in Kenya, it's the opposite. You are not good until someone else out there, who some Kenyans give respect more, is like, oh, you're good, I'm going to reward you. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we have this Kenyan artist. So the infrastructure, we need to build a foundation for artists back home, and then we need to support our artists. When, for example, there's a show that Major has here in the UK in May. I have a show with Major in May. I'm not hearing a lot of people talking about it, but when he comes here and becomes big, then people will be like, oh, he'll be all over the blogs, he'll be all over TV, all over radio. Oh, Major went and killed it in the UK. Whereas even though the event has a date and event venue has been confirmed, I'm not reading about it a lot about it on social media. And of course, this is not just about the bloggers and the TVs. This also goes to the artists' team and management as well. They also need to put this information out there for people to have it. So that is my take. Build a foundation back home, make artists feel like I can make money off of this, I can make a living off of this, and then support this artist. And this artist will put themselves out there. The global stage is open. Yes, it's crowded, but there's always an opportunity for someone to get in there.
I've also looked at your music, and I was jamming to your music, and I couldn't help but notice you don't sing about drugs, sex. So I also want to know, like, why is it so? Did you just make a choice not to touch on those topics? You can tell us.
Well, I would say my music is, I make music to be listened to. I make music for someone to listen to, not just to dance to. I write lyrics that someone can relate to. And I understand that a lot of people can relate to drugs and sex and singing about women's parts and things like that. But that's just not me. That's not what, it's not about being, feeling like I'm righteous or anything like that. I listen to all kinds of music. When Ethic first blew up, I'm one of the people who was sharing, their first song, like, that song had nothing that was, you could consider a message or any or something like that, but I just felt it. So like I said, music, transcends all that. My choice of the type of music that I make is, I feel like there's not enough love around. I feel like, yes, people are like, oh, love, 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 love. But we are in a place right now in the world where we need a lot more love. We need less drugs, less talking about women's beats. And I'm not judging anyone who does, everyone does this for different reasons. But I feel like if I make a song, for example, a song like Available, which someone who's been in lockdown with their partner who's in a different country, and you're struggling to keep the love going, and you're struggling to communicate to your significant other that you're there. I feel like if I make a song like Available, this is a song that you can send to someone, and someone will be like, yeah, this is a message, this speaks to me. So for me, my choice of music, or my choice of lyrics, or my choice of style is geared towards people who want to listen to lyrics, people who want to listen to the music, rather than people who just want to dance. Yeah.
As we are winding up, you can inform us of your future projects. Maybe if you have an EP, if you have a major collab, or maybe an album that you are yet to release, you can tell us about that.
Yeah, I have, speaking of collabos, I have actually done a few collabos. I was in Kenya the other day, and I was privileged to work with some big name artists. I have a project coming up with Reckless of Ethic. I have a project coming up with Brida. I have a project coming up with Mandy. Yeah, I have a few projects that I have done, a few collabos actually now. I have an EP that I'm working on. It was supposed to come out last year, but because of the pandemic continuing, I had to put it on hold for a bit. It's still, I've recorded most of the tracks. I'm still working on it. So I'm not going to give a date, but I have an EP that is coming out towards the end of the year. But before then, I'm going to be blessing you guys with a few projects that I've done with mostly people who a lot of people thought I couldn't work with because our styles are like really, really different. Like, for example, someone like Reckless, my style and Reckless' style, very, very different. But, you know, it was a challenge trying to see if I can work with Reckless and I can make something fire. And I did make something fire. I can work with anyone. So yeah, so I have a few projects coming up. One is landing in 2 weeks, actually. I'm not gonna say which one, but yeah, I do have a few projects coming up.
Yeah, you can give advice to guys who are starting out.
Starting out in the music industry.
Yeah.
Well, I would just say belief. Have belief in yourself, have belief in your ability. Surround yourself with people who advise you for the future, not for the moment. Because if you're getting in the music industry, either someone has told you you're good, you can get in, or you can sing, or you can rap, or you have some insane level of self-confidence, which happens a lot. You can't sing, you can't rap, but you're like, your confidence is like, yep, I'm the G, I can do this. That is usually enough. The music industry is like 10% talent. The rest is outside. The rest is just hard work, the confidence in yourself, the belief in yourself, and the rest is something that you really do not have control of. So what I say is make sure that you put yourself in a place where if an opportunity comes knocking, then you're ready. If say someone shows up and they're like, oh, I hear you can sing. What can I hear? You're ready with a track. You can be like, oh, here's a demo. What do you think? Instead of being in a place where if an opportunity comes, then you still have to start from zero. Most people would want someone who's prepared, someone who's ready. So hata kama utajituma kiasi gani, if you can't get a demo out, and if you don't put money, make sure you invest in your art. Do not just record at the local studio, because I've recorded most of my songs in Kibera. They are quality. Studio doesn't matter, but producer is very, very important. Make sure that you're working with someone who understands what you want to do, the direction that you want to go. Be open to criticism and be open to being told, to being turned away. If a producer tells you you can't sing, give that producer a big hug and do something else, because most producers will just take your money, record whatever it is you want to record, and be on your merry way. So if you have a producer who's honest, who wants you to do things the right way, then that's great. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Pleasure, it's a pleasure, and I'd be happy to be back anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the good work that you're doing. Thank you for supporting artists. Yeah, and I wish you guys all the best. I hope you grow to be a global powerhouse as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.